Right, welcome back, guys. So we're going to have a little discussion about Euro 2020, which is just around the corner.
Yay!
It's kicking off next week. That means football every day for a good month, which is fantastic. Love it. So what we're going to do with the guys today, we're just going to have a little discussion about who we think is going to be our winner of the tournament overall, maybe a little bit of an underdog, and then our pick for a golden boot winner. Okay, I'm going to kick off with my overall tournament winner. I know that England are favourites with the bookies, which I think is crazy, but I am going for France. I think that their squad is the deepest of the lot. The only slight weakness that I see with them is goalkeeper. Lloris has not been as solid for Spurs recently as he was maybe a couple of seasons ago. But then if you look across the rest of the team, you've got obviously a whole host of World Cup winners from 3 years ago. Was that 3 years ago now? You have some unbelievable striking options. When you're able to bring back Benzema and just decide to include a player of Benzema's caliber in your squad, I think that's just madness. You've got Mbappe, who scored another 27 goals this season. N'Golo Kante has just won the Champions League final man of the match. I just think their depth is incredible. So I personally am going to go for France as my tournament winner. Omar, who have you got?
So, I mean, look, I think France is going to be the favorites for a lot of people, but to me, I don't know. I think these tournaments usually have a surprise, and usually kind of the most straightforward person doesn't always win it. So to me, it's Belgium. I think just the experience and the sort of characters that they have on that team is phenomenal. I mean, in defense, you have Courtois. Sorry, in keeper, you have Courtois, has always been just a very solid keeper. The midfield is just so stacked with so much talent. Assuming De Bruyne is able to recover from his Champions League injury, you have De Bruyne, you have Tielemans, who scored that screamer, and then you have the Hazard brothers. You have Lukaku up front, who just came off the Inter Milan winning Serie A, and I mean even his other Serie A colleague in Mertens, the young player called
Napoli.
Yeah, Doku, who's played for Rennes. I think that's the right way to pronounce it. But the guy
Liverpool looking at Doku, yeah.
Yeah, but the guy is phenomenal. You actually watch him play, and he's just athletic, big, fast, can score with both feet. Martinez is a fairly good coach as well.
Underrated, I think. Underrated.
100%. So I can see them taking it.
I think the only slight weakness I see with Belgium is in defence. I think their centre-back options are Vermaelen, who Omar and Dan will be very familiar with.
Can't believe he's still playing.
I couldn't tell you where he's playing now, but Vermaelen, Vertonghen, and Alderweireld are not the most stellar of options at the back. But I think going forward, they look very, very strong. What about you, Dan?
Yeah,
Scotland? Scotland going to do it?
I was reading some analysts today, and they're doing some AI model, artificial intelligence model to predict the Euros, and it says Scotland has a 0.1% chance of winning. So
better than Macedonia, though.
Yeah, better than I think Macedonia is 0.02%. So at least we're not bottom; we're third bottom. So I'm just gonna steer clear of Scotland for now and use my brain rather than my heart. And I think it's gonna be France. I think it's gonna be between France and Belgium. You guys both made excellent points, but I think France is the more complete team. They just have elite players all over the pitch, apart from their goalkeeper, because he plays for Spurs. No elite player plays for Spurs. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with France. Yeah.
Fairly succinct. I like it. Gabo, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if Belgium win it, that'd be. I love it, honestly. I love that team, I love Eden Hazard, I love Courtois, I would love for that team to win. But I've said it before, I've said it during the 2018 World Cup, I predicted France to win that World Cup. I said it with it's a young team, they'll win it again in 2022. I don't see them not losing, I'll see them taking back-to-back World Cups. Having said that, if I predict them to win the World Cup, I predict them to win here. If there's any cheeky other team that I would look at, I don't know how cheeky it is really, but Italy could be something to look into. But I do see France taking it and Mbappe just taking over.
We can come back to that other cheeky team now, because now we're going to talk about the underdogs. Okay, I don't know how much of an underdog my team really is. I think my underdog is Portugal. I don't think they've really been spoken about much as a potential tournament winner. But when you actually look at their squads, they've got a deep squad with some a range of bright young players up to sort of seasoned internationals. I mean, you can't ignore Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He's had a bit of a down season, but a down season for Ronaldo is 29 goals in Serie A, which isn't too bad. Alongside him up, yeah, it's manageable. Alongside him up front, you have my boy Diogo Jota, who's just had a great season for Liverpool. Joao Felix is there. In the midfield, they have options like Renato Sanchez, Bruno Fernandes.
Isn't it basically
Bernardo
the Wolves
Silva.
midfield?
Yeah, Wolves in midfield. A couple of Wolves
players.
They've also got the new PFA Player of the Year, Ruben Diaz, which I don't agree with that decision, but let's not go into that. So I think they've got actually,
That's a solid pick.
Yeah, I think they've got quite a lot of decent players and not really talked about. So that's my pick. What about you, Omar?
My pick is both a favorite and an underdog. I think it has to be England. I mean, look, minus Southgate taking every single decent right back that plays in any top league. I think, on paper, and I know England just bottles everything up usually, but on paper they have such a deep and talented squad. Sterling, Harry Kane, Foden, Mason Mount, Trent. I would say probably
injured,
yeah, he's injured, but you're assuming he's going to be healthy. Right. And even Walker's still got to the Champions League final, and Reece James. To me, England's weakness is probably really who's the solid starting center back next to Maguire. I would assume is Stones. And then left back would be Shaw, but again on left back they're a bit thin. I think it's just Shaw and Chilwell, and then keeper, but then keeper wise, are you going to start Dean Henderson, who I personally think should start over Pickford because Pickford this year has been awful for Everton. But honestly, on paper they have I know there's no MVP award, but you have the MVP of the league this season, unfortunately, in the form of Harry Kane. As much as it pains me to say it as an Arsenal fan, they have phenomenal talent attacking. Their midfield is solid. They have well coached defensive players. They're not talented themselves, but they are coached by great coaches like Tuchel or Pep, so they have those fundamentals on lock. So to me, England makes sense as a viable underdog.
I'm very much a Southgate hater, so I don't see it happening. But I think it's very, very valid points you make there. Dan, underdog?
All right, well, we all knew this was coming, so I'm going to pick Scotland as the underdog.
Okay.
All right. And because you guys have not really picked underdogs, I'm picking out a true, probably the worst team in the whole thing. Right, so I'll give some statistical backup as to why I think it is. Scotland is a very defensive team. They don't score a lot of goals, but they also don't let in that many goals. I think they've only lost one of their last 14 games, which is pretty impressive, and that's all competitions, including World Cup qualifiers, friendlies, and also Europe qualifications. And out of those 14 games, 2 of them were won on penalty shootouts, so they haven't lost a game on penalty shootouts in the last 2 or 3 years. I think they've had quite a few go to penalty shootouts because a lot of the games are 0-0s and 1-1s. So in something as big as this, the Euros, where it is literally, if you get past the group stages, it's one game and then it goes to a penalty shootout. You need to have those players which aren't missing penalties, as Scotland tend to score all their penalties. So it was a win getting into the Euros. I think it'll be a massive win if they somehow get out of the group with England and Croatia. And if they get anything past that, I mean, if they got to the finals, I think the world would be ending by then. But yeah, that's my underdog pick. I don't think you could be much more of an underdog than Scotland.
You have completed the assignment there 100%. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we got Tierney. Tierney's going to lead us to victory, man.
You know what, Dan? Talk about a sales pitch. You got me. I'll double down on you with that. I'm going for Scotland for my underdog. No,
Let's go.
Listen, I will vouch, for the expert here on the Scotland side, but it is a group that is, I'm not going to say easily winnable, but it is winnable. I mean, England and Croatia, as good teams as they are, I don't see them anywhere in form as they were before. I don't see them as organized as they should be. So if there's an underdog to watch and an underdog to look at, maybe not win the whole competition, but you said it yourself, maybe after the group stage, 1-1, you never know, stars align. I do see it as an underdog to look. I will, as I mentioned before, just quickly phrase, Italy, I don't know how much of an underdog they are. I know they're not the same team that they used to be in the past, but hey, they've been killing it. I believe it was 22 games without losing, without dropping a game. So I don't know how much of an underdog they are, but it's always nice to see Italy in top form again. I was actually in France, in Paris, when they beat France in the World Cup. So that was...
That must have been mad, to be fair. That must have been mad.
That was crazy. So... Anyway, yeah, those would be my two picks. I guess the underdog to win would be Italy, if it's even an underdog.
An underdog to get out of the group, though. Right, and then just the last little prediction we're going to make. Top goal scorer. We've obviously got a raft of fantastic attacking players at this tournament this year. I mean, we briefly spoke about a few of them: Kane, Mbappe, Ronaldo, Lewandowski. We haven't mentioned Lukaku. I think my selection, if I'm sort of doubling down, if I say France are going to win the tournament, I think Mbappe is going to end up top scorer. I know it's a tough group, but I have faith that France. I know Wales got a man sent off the other day, but they beat Wales comfortably 3-0. They looked solid. I think Mbappe is coming off a good season again, 27 goals. I could see him taking it. So I'm going with Monsieur Mbappe.
I'll double down and interject right there. I agree with you, Mbappe. It's the favorite to win. And honestly, if Spain was able to score 6 against Germany, I think Mbappe is going to score 3 and take the lead, real quick. So Mbappe golden boot for sure.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right there. Yeah, Omar.
Again, usually with tournaments, it's the one that makes the least sense that usually wins these individual accolades. I mean, last Euros it was Anthony Griezmann, and this guy can't score, save his life now for Barcelona.
Don't tell me you're going to take Timo Werner.
No. Hey, good. No. But, I mean, I need to pick someone that can actually shoot a ball.
And they can stay on side.
If I'm again with that logic, if I'm gonna pick Belgium as the winners, I think Lukaku has a really good chance. I mean, I think he just finally found his groove, he found his mojo, and he was doing very well with very limited service at Inter. You could argue defending in that league is a bit more questionable than hopefully on a national level, but to me, Lukaku makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I like that. Yep. I think the guy I'm going to go for is Scott McTominay from Scotland. Just kidding. I'm going to go for a Frenchman, but it's not Mbappe. I'm going to go Karim Benzema. I think his return to the French national team is going to be a big one. He is a superb goal poacher. A lot of Mbappe's goals are kind of like solo goals where he has to run around a lot. A lot of Karim Benzema's ones are just absolute rockets into the top corner. So I do think it's going to be Karim Benzema. I'm going for him.
Did you see he missed a penalty?
I did see that, right? But didn't he score 2 more after that though? He redeemed himself. Did he score 2? They won 3-0, and I think he scored 2. Yeah. So he missed out on a hat trick. But at least I mean, penalties. It is what it is. So he's only missed 3 in his career. So hopefully there's no more in the Euros. So I'm correct.
Fingers crossed. All right. Thanks for that, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed hearing us ramble about sports, check out our socials at the description below. For more content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys around later.